new tyres are supposed to be quite slippy, so I need to be careful. Haven't rode this bike for a while, a few days. It's very different to my other ones. The handlebars, quite far away. I forgot to remove that tape off of my tyre. I was using it to mark which areas of the tyre were sticking and not popping out properly. I've tried 2 sets of tyres, two new sets of different types, both Swabe puncture protection types, and they both did this weird thing where they stuck to the sides, and it's a problem that I usually only have with motorcycle tyres, the motorcycle style tyres. God, this bike feels so different because yeah, with my other bike that I rode last time, the handlebars are much closer. I tend to like hit my knees on the brake lever when I turn and things. In certain situations, so far today we're about 50% European people that I'm seeing. I'm not going too far. So yeah, it wouldn't work unless I had to put soap on the edges that were sticking. So I had to mark the parts that were sticking and then put soap and water, and then I had to inflate to 40 psi to fix this. It could be because the inner tube is too large, or it could be because the inner tube is too large, or it could be because something about the wheel. If the wheel is manufactured in a way that some areas are giving more friction or catching, then perhaps it could cause that. I don't know. The front wheel I had on my other mountain bike was really good. It was a bit wider, and I say it would probably take both types of tube, whereas this one, I've just realised it only takes Presta tubes, which is really annoying because it's supposed to be a mountain bike, so it should take both tubes types. This thing can get up to about 20 to 21 miles per hour just in power mode 2. Oh, also, just now I realigned the front brake so it's not. I noticed it was actually rubbing against the brake pad, so I've actually realigned it. Where should I go? I want to go up the avenue. I've got to think how to get there. It's sort of, you have to go past the town centre to get there. But yeah, the plan is to put both of these same type of tyres on both wheels, but then I have to check whether it's actually safe with those tyres on it, because it could be like dangerously slippery if the tyres are too narrow and stuff. I don't know where I'm going to go. Might have to go straight through the town centre. As I said, it's like going through the middle of London almost. It was never like this when I was, well, even like 10 years ago, but especially when I was young. This is Boomerville here. This didn't used to be here. This was just a field that backed onto the river. Field behind the pub there. Someone's accelerating rapidly behind me. People walking into the road. Walking out into the road from behind a parked van. A van opening his door onto you. Nice motorcycle there. I've got to take a right hand turn now. Just starting to rain. And yeah, these are very old, narrow, medieval streets. They're not designed to take like city levels of traffic. Sure what he's up to. Yeah, you can't fit two car widths through here, and there's no way to expand it because it would go onto people's private property. Yeah, it's just started to rain, but it's not heavy yet. I hoped it would hold off for a little bit longer. You have to be careful because you got a lot of cars coming down this hill. We're sort of entering the countryside now. But this road has become a lot busier than it used to be. I think we'll go down the path. I used to walk down there a lot with my nan. Oh. Quite muddy. Not nice, this mud patches. I have to be really careful with these tyres, especially because they're new. group of people on bikes. That's quite unusual to see. I think we're in a weekday as well. It's a weekday. Yeah, they aren't locals. As I said, it's very unusual to see people riding in groups on a weekday. Like sort of, I thought perhaps they were chavs. Don't know what he said. I was probably doing about 30 down there. I think he put a little thumbs up at me though, so I'm impressed. Or rather, I don't think he was having a go. I don't think he was having a go at me. I think he was impressed. It's getting slippy and rainy, so I don't want to happen. I don't want the road to get slippery. But not much you can do about that. It's supposed to rain all the next, rained all yesterday. It's supposed to rain for the next few days, and it'll also be very windy. It's just how it is at this time of year often. But then sometimes you get these days that are very clear and cold in winter. It'll be about 5 degrees, it'll be very clear and dry. That tends to happen in like December though. Varies, right? I've been getting the feeling lately that a lot of people are feeling very unhappy all of a sudden. Just in the past, I don't know, week or two. Not everyone, but certain people I've seen that just look very unhappy or unfriendly all of a sudden, and it wasn't like this a couple of months back. It's just weird. I don't know what it is. Yeah, the economy's in a bad way, but I don't know if it's just because of that or it's something else. Just everything in general, combined with the winter time coming. I don't know. braking very gently with the front brake here, because I feel it sort of sliding slightly. Not sliding, but starting to have a little bit of drift. Alright, so you've got a car there, and we've got a big something coming up behind. Might be a tractor. So I'm going to race up this hill. It's a bit weird having a different tyre on the front to the back. I have it on my stealth bomber though, and it feels fine, but that's different. I thought he was parked. He was pulled over, waiting for that one to come, and then he started accelerating towards me, I think. I'm going pretty quick up here because there's something, as I said, there's something behind me, and I don't know if it's a lorry or what, or a tractor. It had big yellow flashing lights on it. Mum used to buy the food from there, like cakes and stuff. Used to spend a lot of money. I didn't think the food was that good. It might be better now though. I thought it was pretty below average sort of cakes and things. Might have improved since then. But it's one of many farm shops that have sort of opened up in the past, I don't know, 5+ years. It's coming this way. No, he isn't. Yeah, I want to know how much range I get out of this bike. I think it's getting very cold though, so it's not the best time to do a comparison. What I would have to do would be to wait until the weather is stable, wait until the temperature is stable, and then basically range test the mid-drive with just its main battery, and then range test this with just so it's testing. So both bikes would have the UPP triangle battery. They're within like 100 watt hours of each other in terms of capacity. The 72 volt one is slightly smaller in capacity, but they're pretty similar. So that's it, just test one and then test the other one, so then I wouldn't have to wait until summer. But you have to do it when the conditions are identical. So you'd have to do it like probably like back to back, one day to the next, when the weather is the same each day. Different bike each day. Perhaps you'd do the same route or something. So find a route that's like 50 miles to 60 miles or something. I don't know. The problem is you'd also have to keep the speed sort of consistent, which is not easy to do, because neither of these bikes have speed meters. This one because the sensor or something about it isn't working. And the other one is just because the sensor can't be physically aligned correctly to the magnet on that bike without me like making up some system for it to work, like, I don't know, 3D printing something or making something out of plastic to act as an adapter. Yeah, it's a working day, so there's so much development around here, houses and HS2 and stuff and roads and whatever, that you tend to get a lot of traffic out, even out in this countryside roads. There's actually a little bridleway thing that goes across the fields there. It's quite nice actually, but I don't think I'm going to do it today because it'll be very wet and this bike can't hack it. I did it a few months ago in the summer and it was quite nice, very dry. It's quite easy to get through there. It goes on for quite a way across the fields over there. Just want to get out. Spending so much time at the moment in a tiny room, small room. It's quite gloomy. It's just bored really. Don't feel like studying and making things as much as I used to because my health isn't as good, and the room I'm in, something about the room I'm in doesn't inspire me to do anything. Does that make sense? So I can hear cars coming. Yeah, I've always wanted to get up on this footpath up here. I have like left my bike here and walked up there a little way. I've always wanted to. Oh look. Ah, it's look, it's all collapsed. I can get up there now. Funny that, isn't it? What a weird coincidence. This is supposed to be a footpath and you couldn't get up here before on a bike. It says circular walk, but what that actually means I don't really know. How does it go on for miles and miles? I don't think so. Obviously worried about punctures. I've got pretty decent puncture protection on the front now, but not on the back. Where does this circular walk go then? Because it looks like it just ends here. I can't see the way through. Up there probably. Probably up there. I don't know. I'd love to know what it was really like, what the landscape was really like 500 years ago plus. This is where the hub's struggling. I can hear what sounds like a helicopter. Chinook or something. A big engine. This is where it goes up to. It's very tight. I thought this was a fairly heavily walked. Oh, I'm not going to be able to get through there. Just put the bike down. I have to duck under. There's a bit of metal sticking out the ground there. Oh, this is old. Where does this go now? I don't know. Probably off that way somewhere. Well, there's a road. And there's a road up the top there. I think that is yeah, the other side of Water Stratford, so we're not far from the road. See a bus going down there. Not as interesting as I hoped. You know, you hope you'll be going on a nice adventure for miles and miles without seeing a road through places like this, but often that doesn't happen. Just open crop fields or whatever. Shit, back tyre slid then. I think I went the wrong way. I'm getting out of it. Is this private? It might be private. You've got like a tyre thing there. Swing on the tree. This probably belongs to that farm. There is a sort of river down there as well. Yeah, sort of gardening. People gardening there. Something's driven up here, I think. Better check my tyres after that. Really don't want to have any problems today. Dad says he's going out at 3 and it's probably, I don't know, 1:45, 2 o'clock now. Some mud in my mouth. There's another walk goes off that way, it said. I always just check my tyre pressure. I don't know if it's a telephone or a power cable. It's very low hanging. I'll show you. Is it like head height? See the hair look? See this head? Very strange. That's okay. Front feels okay as well. Yeah, look. Three cables, so fourth up the top. For a 3-phase electricity, probably. Bloody cell phone tower in that farm. It's such a difference going out into the Cotswolds. Such a different type, group of people living there. So much money, feels very well kept, and whereas this area feels like it's completely just falling into ruin slowly. You can actually go all the way across there. Quite interesting. I've got a little way. Probably not too wet. Doesn't seem to really take you out anywhere on the far side, but maybe I didn't look careful enough. We called this East Buckinghamshire, perhaps all of Buckinghamshire, apart from maybe the south, I don't know. Just this area of the country, a little bit north and northwest of London, trying to turn it into this sort of globalist development zone. So it turns into this sort of business orientated, high tech, highly populated sort of area where you've got like Amazon warehouses and all this stuff operating, like robotics and all this stuff happening in this area, sort of between Oxford and Cambridge, I guess. And it's this like unwritten plan that has never been sort of spoken of, but you can tell that it's happening. Kind of turning it into one of these areas like Austin, Texas, or Shanghai or Beijing. I don't know if you've ever looked at like China on Google Maps in certain parts of China. It's such a weird like landscape because it's kind of, it's not urban, but it is, you can see like countryside, like you can see that it was countryside, but it's sort of so many buildings and roads that there's never any, it's all kind of suburban, like joined up. You can't see big areas of countryside, but you also don't see towns either. It's not like, it's just like things dotted around, connected by roads. It's weird. I think it's a bit like the outskirts of Tokyo. It's not really the countryside, but you see like these older bits and stuff. This area is kind of becoming a bit like that, I suppose. I don't know what the equivalency would be in America or other places. It's just so weird. Yeah, you do see these globalist strongholds like the southeast coast of Australia is much the same, I think. Parts of New Zealand. It always amazes me like that there's any people in New Zealand at all. Like, why are there so many European people in New Zealand? It doesn't make much sense to me. I think this may connect up to the track that goes over that way. This is an old like railway line here, I think. I haven't come down here for a while. It doesn't really go anywhere. But it is very quiet over here. Where it was. Oh, that's slippery. It's very slippery. It shouldn't be this muddy on a hill like this. What the fuck? I better walk this. That could be dangerous. Look how that's perched on there. Could fall off. Is that bloody helicopter swirling around? Are you looking for someone? I hear the same helicopter. Sounds like a Chinook plane. I wonder what's down here. This is an old place. Not many people have been through here for a while. Said it's private property on that sign, so I'm just I did notice this before. It's area of untouched wild scrub. Yeah, I'm thinking, what can I buy that's gonna allow me to keep my bikes running for a couple of years or more. Basically inner tubes, puncture repair kits, brake pads, oil, cables, steel cables for the brakes and shifters on my other bike, things like that. This is so wet here, it's crazy. Trying to see if I see anything I recognise. It's difficult because it was a few months ago when I came here last time. This is so difficult. The hub motor does very poorly on this type of terrain. Whereas the mid-drive will easily generate enough torque to just spin the wheels in that kind of see it though, the car's quite low. Birds being killed there. So many birds of prey around now. I didn't used to see many when I was younger. Even when I cycled there, I didn't see many. Now I see so many. I don't think it's just because I pay more attention, I notice things, and I can tell one bird from another now. It does run somewhere over there, that track, but I can't see exactly where. See if we can find that. Yeah, so that's the back of that house. It's not a real track, it's made of, it's like you can go down there to go somewhere. Down there maybe that connects you up back with that track there. Explore when I went down there a few months ago. Look, collapses here. Smoke must be very joints and very. This feels like concrete underneath. No, it's blocked off. Can you get around it? No. Can't even get around. I have to go back the way I came. Damn it. And that's the railway line. That's probably just as muddy. So yeah, we'll keep moving. If I was able to cut across to that other track, they wouldn't be able to notice me. They wouldn't be able to find where I'd gone to. If I went down there, I did manage to get through, but that brings me like close to that house. It's actually quite a skill to ride on a wet surface like this with narrow tyres, especially on a heavy e-bike. Maybe it's easier if you're a much lighter person. I weigh like 100 kilos. kilograms. If you weighed like 70, you'd perhaps have an easier time because you haven't got so much weight on your upper body. It's wanting to shift that bike side to side. Does that make sense? You can easily adjust your balance because you've got less weight. My cousin has an easier time getting across terrain like this because he doesn't sink into the mud as much as I do, is what we've noticed. Don't want to do that. I'll be out of this soon. It does go off in that direction, but it didn't seem like it went anywhere. My dad often drives across the country for various reasons. Sometimes he'll go cycling, sometimes he'll go to see a business client, sometimes he'll go to watch football or something. There are other reasons. So I was thinking I may be able to hitch a ride with him and get out halfway along, depending on where he's going. Maybe ask him to drive a little bit further or a few miles out from where he's going, and if it's somewhere like Bedford, for example, perhaps ask him to drive a little bit north of there, away from the city itself, and that would get me to an area that's quite far away, but not that far away either. I have a maximum, I can get to places at maximum about 40 miles away, 35 to 40 miles. Probably lives in that house, big nice house actually, Rose something. Oh, I've got a bit splashed with mud. Yeah, coming into the back of Finmere now. Oh, I probably used quite a lot of battery in that field. The hub motor just gets bogged down at low RPMs. It just eats current while it's not even spinning. It just gets warm, right? Wouldn't be such of a problem if it was dry conditions like summertime. Also, when you're on a hill, it's brakes are so noisy. These trees are pretty still. Opened up a bit more now, most of the leaves have fallen off. You can see some of the leaves and also the middle of the tree, and it looks quite cool. Yeah, so I'm going to start looking at places that are further away. Cruise 14. Never noticed that before. Yeah, I'm going to start looking at places that are like 40 to 50 miles away in various directions. Places that look like there would be good places to get dropped off at and then ride back home from. It could be up to 60, 70 miles away potentially, which would be a long way. I don't think I'd feel confident trying to navigate my way home from that sort of distance though. Does that make sense? Like 70 miles away. I think I'd be more comfortable starting at places that are about 50 miles away. So one place I've been past is like Southsea Forest and Stoke Goldington. It's sort of on the way towards Olney. It feels quite far, but it's actually not that far away. So my bloody thing does this all the time. It switches off and then you feel this like jolt back, this braking, electric braking, where it's you just stop suddenly. It's quite annoying. Don't know what's wrong with that speed sensor though. I think that charge, ride, repeat guy says his speed sensors never work either. Like he never uses them. But then don't you have the problem that your thing turns itself off like mine does? Because my other bike does that as well. I think it's when it's not detecting any speed, even though you're applying the throttle, because it doesn't detect any speed, it turns itself off after a while because it thinks you're not using it or something. So the other way I can go is towards High Wycombe, down to Wendover Woods, towards London, towards like West London, sort of near Reading. I've got to remember that my handlebars are wider than they need to be. It makes it difficult to like slip through traffic like that. Whereas with my mid-drive I can quite easily tuck through narrow gaps and things. That's probably my biggest criticism with this bike, is the wheels and the handlebars. The frame is also a little bit excessively large. Some bloody Range Rover thing right up behind me. I had to speed up, which means I missed my turning. Yeah, the handlebars are perhaps a little bit too wide. The frame's a little bit too big, although you could go for the medium size. Look at all this rubbish. Disgusting. If that's what you want to live You know, if that's the environment you want to live in, surrounded by trash, then that's your, you know, you create the environment that you're going to have to live in. Does that make sense? Not sure exactly where it is, but I'm aware that there's this region of England that has these has all these sort of rolling cornfields, these big hills with all these cornfields, sort of yellowy, and that's where Stonehenge is. There's not much like development there, as I understand it, and not far away is like where the military has their like testing grounds or something. I'm not sure, is it like Wiltshire or something? I don't know exactly. Sort of in between Reading and Swindon and Bath and Bristol and all these places. I did have a look at one village on Google Earth. There's rubbish everywhere here as well. Did have a look at one village on Google Earth, can't remember what it's called. It was unusual though, quite far from here, down south. Yeah, I'm a southern person, I like the warm weather in the south. Mild weather. Warm summer, but not too warm. I find places like Scotland and even Wales to be a bit gloomy. I don't think I'd want to live in Scotland, it'd be too cold for me. That said, it did used to be colder here. It used to get very snowy in the winter apparently. You'd have deep snow drifts, deep snow settling, like 5 feet of snow. I think it used to be very hard to get around the countryside in winter when it snowed, and it often did snow deeply. I've not experienced that really in the past few years. Yeah, I mean, I've been e-biking for a few years and then would use my mobility scooter before that, and I haven't really experienced deep snow that made it difficult to get into the countryside. It's kind of what this area needs really. This area needs more of that wilderness and nature because the people here are just becoming too soft and consumerist, and I don't know. Take everything for granted and they just throw rubbish everywhere. They love their government and all this. Certainly not going too far today. I'm gonna head back now, I think. I'll be on the way back now. don't want to push my luck. It's quite cold as well. Quite cold today and wet. And the rain could be coming soon. Sometimes when I come out on a ride I just don't want to stop, don't want to go home, but today is not one of